Oh, you want to mute that?
There it is. Yeah, sure. It's probably a good idea. Hold on one second. We got to mute the TV that we were watching. Something on the Steelers dynasty of the 70s, whatever. A couple of those came against the Cowboys. Wasn't too happy about that. But anyway, I'm Dave Novak. With me, as always, Jason Jones. We're still waiting for Scotty D to get his shit together and figure out how we're going to include him in these videos. But we decided this video was going to be about impact rookies right off the bat. Guys are going to be able to step in and have an immediate impact, help the team out. So I know. I guess I'll start it off. I had to write some notes down on this one because there was no way I was going to remember all who these guys are. So you see, I had to write some notes down. So the first person I want to talk about is Jared Davis. He's a linebacker that got drafted to Detroit. And Detroit, their biggest issue had been defense. So I think he's going to be able to step in right away at linebacker and help them out in a much-needed position because they made the playoffs last year, and they were outscored by 12 points through the overall season. So that's pretty hard to do. To make the playoffs and get outscored. I'm still trying to figure out the math on how. I don't know how that works. I'm like, how do you get outscored and still
an offense?
I don't know. Yeah. And but the problem was when they got in the playoffs, you saw how it affected them. So it's like, all right, they snuck through the regular season getting outscored, but when they got into the playoffs, they played Seattle and gave up 177 rushing yards against Seattle, and that was without beast mode Marshawn Lynch. So that's not good. I know Russell Wilson, ran all over him as well to go with the running back. So he'll have an immediate impact right there. He's got great instincts, first off. He's got a great feel for the ball. He reads the offense really, really well. He can read when the tackles are moving to see when the counters are coming, and he reads screens really well. And he's fast. He's not overly big. He's, 6 foot, 235, something right around there. But he ran a 1.57 split in the 10-yard dash, which is moving for a guy with, at that kind of size. And we always say, like, yes, the 40 is great. That seems like to be the most
that's the standard, the measure of speed.
Yeah, which isn't a real good measure of speed for a lot of the players. So we always say we like to look at like 10-yard splits, 20-yard splits to see, because a linebacker's not going to run 40 yards straight. So we want to see how fast he moves inside 10 yards. So that's the first person I had, Jared Davis. I think he's going to be an immediate impact for Detroit and hopefully help them out on the one side of the ball that they've been lacking at for years. So who you got?
We stay with the linebackers. I got, as far as defense goes, I have Rueben Foster for the 49ers. Coming out of Alabama, smart, instinctive player. Oddly enough, he's going to probably be doing the opposite of what Bowman did. Bowman played outside linebacker at Penn State. Was moved to inside linebacker for the 3-4 scheme, but he had great success because he could move.
Yep.
Now here's a guy that can move, can read lines, has really good instincts as far as attacking the ball downhill, and he's going to play outside. One of the big questions would be is, can he cover? I think he has the speed to cover, and with his instinct and but football IQ, as far as diagnosing what offenses probably do, I think he's not going to have too much of a problem covering. But he does add a versatile element. If anything were to go wrong, or if something were to happen to Navarro Bowman, he can make that shift to the inside linebacker spot, and someone like Eli Harold could come off and play outside linebacker.
Well, you can see what John Lynch is trying to do there. He's trying to build a defense like he had in Tampa Bay, obviously.
Right.
So he's trying to bring in the guys that are super physical. Like the one thing Foster is, he's super physical, and I think he can cover the tight ends and the running backs. So, yeah, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, it's definitely – and if he pans out with his shoulder and his shoulder doesn't impact, I mean, he's definitely going to probably go down in history as a steal.
The biggest thing that stuck out to me was his competitiveness. I said, like, watching him play, I said he's, like, the most competitive linebacker I had seen since Ray Lewis. So he's got that, like, Jack Tatum, like, want to kill you type of competitiveness where, he's going to die on the field, give you everything he's got. So, yeah, I really like him. I like that. I agree with you 100%. I think Rueben Foster is going to be a solid pickup.
So if I can keep it, might as well stay with the same team. I mean, I'm a Niner fan, but I am looking at it. But just to me, I think the way the 49ers drafted, it was kind of want to say back in 2011 when they picked up 2 offensive linemen, they actually changed the scope of their offense. I mean, grabbing a potty, and I think it was Andre Smith. I mean, they actually started to implement the power running game back into the NFL, and they had much success with it. You know, I mean, Frank Gore had probably some of his most successful years, easier years running behind that line. I think San Fran did it again with this draft in 2017 by getting Solomon Thomas. When you add your previous first-round draft picks in Eric Armstead and DeForest Buckner, and you pair him up with a Solomon Thomas, the guy who's just a bulldog, a block on that front line. I mean, he anchors against the run very well, and he has some pass rush ability. Granted, I feel like his pass rushing moves will probably have to be polished a little bit, but I think he could be a very versatile attacking DN or D tackle, because I mean they're switching to a 4-3, so he can slide either inside or outside. And having someone like Ellis Duverville to be able to like mentor him and coach him up, because he was another guy that was just like that, very versatile. He sometimes played inside defensive tackle, sometimes they moved him to defensive end depending on what the situation was, whether it was a passing situation or running situation. But to see him line up, and I think they're going to probably line up with a D tackle, just for the fact that he can anchor the run and he can bring pressure up the middle. Not to mention just having a 6'7", 6'6" bookends and Buckner and Armstead out there. I think that's going to be a matchup nightmare. Yeah.
So he should definitely help out that squad, and they're rebuilding in the right direction. Obviously, I'm not a Niners fan, but I was actually really pleased with the John Lynch signing at GM. I think that guy's a genius, and he's going to bring in the right people. He's a football guy, so it's not all about what you see on paper. He knows another football guy when he sees it. So I think bringing him in was a great pick. So
definitely going to give him a nasty front seven, depending on what that other outside linebacker can do. Whether it be Lynch, Ahmad Brooks.
So I like that pickup. The next one I had, I'm going to switch to the offensive side of the ball. And this one isn't really this is a no-brainer. I think a lot of people are probably going to be on this bandwagon, early, and that's going to be Leonard Fournette. The running back, anybody that watched him play last year, this guy could have made a highlight reel just in stiff arms, just grown man disrespectful stiff arms, just dropping people. I would have felt some type of way about that. I'm trying to get up and hit you with the bench or something. You stiff arm me like that, but he did it to everybody. And he's deceptively fast for his size. You're talking about a guy that's 6'3", 240. He's a big dude. He ran a 2.5 20-yard split, which was the fastest at the combine. At his size, that's freaking unheard of. So, he's going to come right into Jacksonville right off the bat. And he's going to be a day one starter, and he's going to give them a much-needed running attack. And it's as simple as that. And, I always say a solid run game helps out your quarterback, with their quarterback situation. He could use all the help he can get. So it's going to be good for them to be able to run the ball, make the defense play a little more honest, and respect the pass as well. So I think that one's kind of a no-brainer. I don't think I really need to go too in-depth on Leonard Fournette. Everybody saw what he was. He's an absolute – he's a grown man. That boy's ready to play right now. So, he's very similar to an Ezekiel Elliott, but bigger. So maybe not quite the breakaway speed, but he's got plenty of speed, and he's deceptively got quick feet and moves, which you wouldn't expect him to be able to jump cut the way he does. But he can get out of the way of people real quick, or he can just lower his shoulder and just ruin your friggin' day.
And that's the one thing I do like about him as a running back. You don't see it too often nowadays, except for maybe Ezekiel Elliott or Adrian Peterson. But he's that dude that if he gets to the second level, he's going to do some damage to some DBs and possible linebackers. This dude's going to bring the wood. He ain't shying away from any kind of contact. He's going to try to finish each run through you.
Yeah, he definitely runs behind his pads. He finishes north every single play.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a beast.
And the one thing I also like about is that his situation, unlike, say, most running backs, is the fact that he kind of has help. He has two really good receivers down there in Jacksonville. And then he also possibly, if he starts, you have T.J. Yeldon behind him, so there's really no pressure. I mean, he can finish, he can wear down a defense, towards the goal line, and then T.J. Yeldon comes in and finishes it off, or vice versa.
Good 1-2 punch.
Yep,
without a doubt. So, who else you got?
Sticking with no-brainers, I mean, you might as well go ahead and bring up Ed McCaffrey.
Christian McCaffrey.
Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, Ed was really good too, but he got drafted a couple years back.
Yeah. And he's much too old to play now. Yeah, Christian McCaffrey out of Stanford going to Carolina. I mean, he's a Swiss Army knife for them. I mean,
he's actually my pick for Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Really?
I got him winning Rookie of the Year this year for offense. Yeah. Yep.
He's got the talent to make it. I mean, this guy can probably play like 4 or 5 different positions on the field, from like being a split outside wide receiver to playing running back to playing the slot.
Absolutely.
I mean, he's very versatile. Again, another guy with really good football IQ. Of course, he's coming from
great pedigree.
Yeah, dad was a really good, a really good wide receiver.
And don't forget his versatility in the return game.
Nope.
This is another guy, he can return punts as well. So, like you said, Swiss Army knife. It's kind of like Slash Cordell Stewart. I don't know if you guys remember who that was for the Steelers. This guy played all over the field. Wherever you needed him to play, he could play. So the only thing that would have been more potent than him going to Carolina is if he went to New England, because Bill Belichick would have had him probably on defense too. So his size gets knocked a lot, but I don't think people realize how big he is or how the average size running back is. Average size running back only go about 5'9", 5'10", right around 210, give or take a few inches or a few pounds. He's 6 foot 210. So he's got plenty of size. He's the same size, he's bigger than Emmitt Smith and Barry Sanders were, so it's not like he's a small guy. They're making him out to be like Danny Amendola, who's 5'7", like 170. He's not a small guy. He can take it up the middle if he needs to. So, I don't know why people knock his size, because he doesn't have a size issue at the position he plays. So,
I mean, and there's a multitude. You're going to have to play honest. You're not going to load the box up against him and say, okay, we're going to let him go outside, because he will burn you. Not to mention the fact that he's another one that actually is coming into a really good position. You got Kelvin Benjamin and Greg Olsen, who can definitely stretch the field vertically. So, I mean, play actions is going to hurt.
Yep.
Like screens, dump screens to him is going to hurt, because he also, for his size, he can make people miss. He's very agile, and he's another guy that will, like, if he can't juke you, he will try to run you over. He'll finish plays. I mean, he's a baller.
He's really going to make Cam better.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to make that offense.
He's going to make Cam better. You'll watch this year, Cam's passing percentage will probably go up. Now, granted, his yards per pass may go down, but his passing percentage is going to go up, because you just gave him the best dump-off man I've seen since like a Darren Sproles. I mean, his abilities literally to just chip block and then come off for a screen or something are absolutely outstanding. He's going to be an immediate impact. Like I said, he's my pick for Offensive Rookie of the Year, just because of the things he does. And I think they're going to make sure he gets the ball in his hands at least 20 times a game, whether it be 10 handoffs, 10 receptions, punt returns. He's going to be a factor. They're going to try to get him involved early and often. So, yep, another good pick. You're just throwing out all the great ones right now.
Yeah,
I'm digging in my bag of tricks. You're pulling out all the really good ones.
Well, the next guy I got is definitely going to be he's either one of the guys they may fall to the wayside, or he may end up being one of the bandwagon guys. And I'm also a Carolina fan, so I'll have to say Ryan Switzer is definitely same kind of, almost shorter, lighter, but definitely the same type of player.
He's a wide receiver for the Cowboys too, just so you know. He's talking about Ryan Switzer.
He's a Christian McCaffrey.
And I'll let you talk about him, since I'm a Cowboy fan. I don't want to sound like I'm biased, so I'll let him explain it, because he's not a Cowboy fan.
No, he's not. But Ryan Switzer is to me is another steal. Here's a kid that, although, and you may have mentioned it once before, he's definitely one of those kind of kids or kind of players that uses his intangibles to cover up his tangibles. He doesn't have, prototypical height and weight and possibly speed, even though depending on minus his 40 time, which was about average, his game film, he plays much faster.
Yes.
And
he's football fast.
Yeah. He's one of those guys that's got a lot of heart, and he competes every single down. Kind of was required to in North Carolina. I mean, he was one of Mitch Trubisky's like security blankets. I mean, whenever he needed a big play, this kid came up with a big play. In fact, I mean, that's to me is one of his intangibles. The guy's a playmaker.
Absolutely.
Like he can make a play.
Who do you compare him to in the NFL?
Right now, Julian Edelman.
Okay.
As far as like just almost identical.
About same size.
Yeah,
too.
same size, same weight, but they'll play the same. This guy can find holes, and he knows how to find holes in the zone, sit in them. He can take the top off defense.
Runs good routes.
Yep. That may be a little bit more polished with his route running, and also as far as like option routes. I mean, as we both know, I mean, North Carolina ran basically a quick strike offense. You know, everything was up tempo, maybe 1 or 2 reads, and he was either dumping it or he was gone. And you know, in Dallas, he may have to be able to physically read the defense and say, okay, this route is better than this route, and be on the same page with Dak.
Absolutely.
But I can guarantee you one thing: Dak delivers a strike to him, he's catching it, and like his catch radius is crazy for a guy his height.
You said we're in like another Cole Beasley, I guess. You know, same type of player. So now, you know, you can, if we wanted to go 4 wide, we can legitimately go 4 wide with a Des Bryant and a Terrence Williams and then a Cole Beasley and a Ryan Switzer. So yeah, I guess that'll add another element to our offense. Does he play defense? Because I could use some defenders, especially with them getting suspended at a rapid rate. So it's getting ridiculous.
Hey, you got a common trend down there in Dallas.
Yeah. So, all right, Ryan Switzer, keep your eye out for him. My next one, I'm going to go back on defense, and I'm going to talk about a team that everybody's making a lot of fun of right now, and for good reason, because, you know, they've been stumbling for years, and they just haven't been great. Jamal Adams for the Jets, safety. I think this kid is going to be an immediate impact. The Jets, and don't get it twisted, the Jets' defense has been good. It's just they're on the field way too much. So, you know, they got a tendency to get gassed by the fourth quarter. You know, they're losing games, but they were losing tight games. But that defense is pretty solid. The defensive line is, you know, lights out. And they got a couple great linebackers. Like, their defense is very solid. And Jamal Adams is a real tough physical player. And he's going to fit right in with there. You know, he's a banger. He can come up and play the run in the box. And he can also cover because he's got great speed. You're talking about a kid that, one, he's got, you know, a great pedigree. His father, George Adams, got drafted in the 85 draft of the Giants. So he's another one that's, you know, been around football since the time he could walk. So, and he's a great character kid too. You know, he was a captain at LSU from the time he was a rookie. And I think he gives that defense another impact that they need to help them, because they're probably going to be on defense a lot again this year when the offense not looking like they're going to produce a whole hell of a lot. It's going to be tough for him. So, you know, he's got great instincts, and, you know, he seems like a good character kid to go with it too, which you always want. So I think Jamal Adams is going to have immediate impact, you know, as well. So you got any honorable mentions? Try to keep this video under 20 minutes.
Yeah, honorable mention for me would be, and to me it's more of a chemistry thing, how well they're going to mesh. Would be Jabril Peppers.
Okay.
I mean, that kid he was a deep, like, actually he was just flat out Swiss Army knife. I mean, Jim Harbaugh had him on offense, on defense. So, I mean, which I think that kind of experience will help him out as far as help him out in the NFL, as far as, like, reading routes, because he was that guy that was running those routes.
Absolutely.
The question would be, and I still, I'm up in the air about is where they're going to play him. You know, they're going to play him as a nickel DB, or they're going to play him at free safety. They picked up Jonathan Cyprien from Jacksonville, so you may not play strong safety, but they could flip flop. You know, they could have Cyprien at free safety and have him at strong safety, because I mean he's a thumper.
Absolutely,
I mean, he played linebacker for Michigan also. Yeah. So this guy can be anywhere. But also not only that, but what he can do in the return game. I kind of failed to mention that with Ryan Switzer too, but you know, and we also mentioned that with Ed McCaffrey. It's like that. I mean, special teams now is starting to become more prevalent.
Absolutely.
As far as, you know, being able to change the game or turn a game around, even steal momentum. And Jabril Peppers has the speed and the agility to actually, you know, be that for them.
Absolutely.
Granted, they already have what was it? Oh no, I actually lost him. Thinking Travis Benjamin, but he's in San Diego now. So
you're having a moment.
Yep, I'm having one of those moments. Well, he actually fills that hole for him. Then, you know, as a return man, he can be dangerous.
Okay.
You know, as well as how he plays on defense.
All right. So I'm I'm going to give the real quick no-brainer. Myles Garrett with the Browns. You know, obviously, you look at his combine numbers, they were absolutely ridiculously freakish. I mean, his 40 time, his bench press, his every single thing, his vertical leap at linebacker. He had a 40-inch vert. The dude's 260 pounds. 40-inch vert. Are you shitting me? Like, absolutely ridiculous. So keep an eye out for him with the Browns. Another one, two guys out of my division who obviously, you know, I hate giving anybody props in my division, but Donnell Pumphrey, the San Diego State running back that went to the Eagles. Mm-hmm. I think he can step in with Ryan Matthews not really being a guy that you can count on every single game or every play because he gets hurt a lot. Mm-hmm. And Darren Sproles, you know, not being that every down back because of his size, mm-hmm. I think he can step in and probably have an impact there and help them out on offense with Carson Wentz. So, and then the other guy is Jonathan Allen, the DN from the Skins. And, you know, you're talking about an Alabama kid. And you know what? You can put every single Alabama guy that got drafted really and mention him in this because every single one of them is football ready. They come from pro-style offense with an amazing coach, probably the greatest college coach of all time. Yep. Struggled in the NFL, but as far as college goes, this guy's amazing. Mm-hmm. So Nick Saban knows how to coach. So I think Jonathan Allen is going to step in and help the Skins as a D end, and he'll be pretty good. Yep. So you got anybody else?
No, but I do like to make a little small note because you'll probably hear this in the comments. I mean, Myles Garrett being honorable mention as far as like being one of the guys that we figured would be, you know, a shoe-in to help improve a team is just, for me, it's more of just the way number one overall picks I've been going.
I mean, and there's certain guys we feel like you almost don't have to mention it. Granted, we did mention a couple guys that are, like we said, are no-brainers, but there are certain guys like, you know, first round of draft, it's like you better be or, you know, it was a bad pick. But I think the Browns finally made the smart pick, didn't take the flashy pick, took the smart guy. So, I think they're finally moving in the right direction. I said I'd do anything to work with the Browns right now and be in that front office as, you know, either head of player personnel or scouting or something because they're really in the driver's seat. They've got another like 9 picks next year, 2 first rounders, 2 second rounders. They're in a great spot to really turn themselves around. So, but as far as rookie impact goes this year, those are the guys that we think are probably going to step in right away, and you know they'll be beasts. And hopefully you're right about Ryan Switzer. I could use somebody for the Cowboys. You know, another weapon's always good, but I need him to play defense. So
you got a problem there. Stick with Taco Charlton, man.
Yeah.
He's gonna get playing time too.
At the end, absolutely, because my other 2 DNs are suspended.
Yep.
Like if you go watch my other video, Cowboy suspension. Every day I'm probably gonna put another one up because we just keep every day it comes out we're getting another guy suspended. Who knows by camp? I may, you know, maybe like the movie The Replacements, and we're fielding people off the streets. It might be open tryouts. If that's the case, I'm gonna go try out for safety or something.
Oh man, Invincible too.
You know, so
it goes from Philly to Dallas.
All right, we appreciate you guys watching, and any comments, concerns, criticism, anything like that, you know, we're down. Let us know what you think. Yep. And like we always say, opinions are different. Not everybody's going to agree with us. So if you got your own opinion, have at it. It's probably wrong.
Happy to debate you about it too. So.
Absolutely. So keep an eye out for the next video. I'm sure it'll be coming soon. Every couple of days we put them up. So like I said, Scotty D, get your shit together, bro. You got to be in our next video. All right. We'll see you guys later.
Peace.
Deuces.